Welcome back to Yehoshua's Daf Yomi Shiur, where the Daf continues until the appearance of Mashiach ben David, Messiah the son of David. We're holding on Chullin, in Tractate Chullin, page 53b, with the words Amar Ameimar. Amar Ameimar, Hilchasa Choishishi, Nisafik Druso. Amar Le, Rav Ashi Lameimar, Hai Drav Mai, Amar Le, Lo Shemiali, Kiloma. Okay, we're back. Where were we? I think we were at... Well, you know what? Let's start from Amar Ameimar. Maybe start from there. Let's start again. Amar Ameimar. Amar Ameimar. Hilchasa Shishin Savik Derusa. Amar Le Rav Ashi Lameimar. Hai Drav Mai. Amar Le Lo Shemieli Kiloma Lo Svirli. Ameimar said, the halacha is that one must be concerned in a case of uncertainty as to whether an animal was clawed. Rav Ashi said to Ameimar, what about this statement of Rav that one need not be concerned? And Ameimar said to him, I do not hear that statement. That is to say, I do not hold in accordance with it. V'i bayis eima. V'i bayis eima. Hadar berav legabe Shmuel. Tehahu Shar Kafa Tisavik Drusos. The also the coming Rav Shadarin hu lekame de Shmuel Chan Kin hu Shadin hu bin Hara Fi Sokazat no Hadan Bele Sherinu. Or if you wish, say instead that Rav retracted his statement and conceded to Shmuel that one must be concerned in a case of uncertainty, as there was a certain basket of birds concerning which there was uncertainty as to whether they had been clawed by a hawk that entered among them, which came before Rav. Rav sent them before Shmuel to issue a ruling, and Shmuel strangled them and threw them into a river. What did he do? Let's see. As there was a certain basket of birds concerning which there was an uncertainty as to whether they had been clawed by a hawk that entered among them, which came before Rav. Rav sent them before Shmuel to issue a ruling, and Shmuel strangled them and threw them in a river. Why did you do that? Why do you have to kill them? Okay, strange, but whatever. He strangled them and he threw them in a river. And if it enters your mind that Rav did not retract his statement, then let him permit them for consumption. Why did he send them to Shmuel? Elomai hadar be'lisrinu ela asri di Shmuel hava. The Gemara rejects this. Rather, what will you say? That Rav really did retract? If so, let him prohibit them for consumption without sending them to Shmuel. Rather, he sent the birds to Shmuel because it was Shmuel's place, and although Rav disagreed with Shmuel, it would be improper to issue a contradictory ruling. Lama li lemich kikinihu lishadinhu hachi benara mifarcha misalkan. The Gemara asks, why do I need Shmuel to strangle the birds? Let him simply throw them into the river as it is. The Gemara responds, Shmuel was concerned lest they fly and leave the river and eventually end up in the possession of an unwitting Jew. Uleshaninu shnayim asachoidesh asabehu lidei tekola bilis beninu v'legoyim asu lisboninu l'Israel. The Gemara objects, but let him delay killing them for 12 months. If they survive, it will prove that they are not treifot, and they will be permitted The Gemara responds, Shmuel was concerned lest people encounter a stumbling block, as they might forget that these birds are prohibited and eat them before 12 months have passed. The Gemara asks, but let him sell them to Gentiles, so that they will not be a stumbling block. The Gemara responds, Shmuel is concerned that perhaps the Gentiles will come and sell them back to the Jews. But I can go further. Oh yeah, but sell them and that they should eat them right now. Okay. ולחנקינו לשדינו להשפע ולתמך לשדינו לכלבים אלא לפרסם ממלסה דסורה. The Gemara suggests, let him strangle them and throw them into the garbage. Why do you throw them into the river? The Gemara responds, and according to your reasoning, we should throw them to the dogs, as at least they will come to some use. Rather, Shmuel threw them into the river, a public place, in order to publicize the matter of the prohibition. Ahu barabaza dahavi beravashi alvenikanya nafekasa kimam sams mamsamams mamasmis koedema amaravashi lomanan safik kalva safik shunra emar kalba Hanami safik kanya safik shunra emar kanya machi. The Gemara relates that there was a certain duck that was in the house of Rashi. The duck entered between the reeds, and it came out with its throat stained with blood. Poor thing. And Rav Ashi said, do we not say, if it is uncertain whether the predator was a dog, and uncertain whether it was a cat, I will say that it was a dog, which cannot claw an animal effectively. Here too, since it is uncertain whether the duck was injured by a reed, and uncertain whether it was injured by a cat, I will say a reed struck it, and the duck is not a treifa. Amri b'nei Rav Chia derusa she'amru tzricha b'diga keneged b'nei me'ayim. The sons of Rav Chia, Yehuda and Chizkiah, said, a clawed animal about which the sages said one must be concerned requires inspection of the flesh adjacent to the intestines. If the flesh surrounding the intestines reddened, the animal is a treife, because the venom will eventually penetrate the body cavity and perforate the intestines themselves. Amar Rav Yosef, דבני רבי חייא כבר פירשו שמואל דאמר שמואל משום רבי חנינא בן אנטיגנוס דרוס שאמרו צריכה בדיקה כנגד בני מאיים. Rav Yosef said, this statement of the sons of Rabbi Chia was already explained by Shmuel, as Shmuel says in the name of Rabbi Chanina ben Antignos, a clawed animal about which they said one must be concerned requires inspection adjacent to the intestines. By ilfam, yesh durusa lesimonim, or yein durusa lesimonim. Aber zero, had by ilfa kebal persho, Rav Chanan bar Rove. Dam Rav Chanan bar Rove. Amarav durusa she'amru tzricha bedika keneged beis hachalol kulo vafilu besimonim. Ilfa raised a dilemma. Is there a clawing with regard to the simanim? Or is there no clawing with regard to the simanim? Does the venom penetrate the simanim as it does the intestines? Or Zera said that this dilemma that Ilfa raises was already explained by Rav Chanan bar Rave. As Rav Chanan bar Rave says that Rav says a clawed animal about which they said one must be concerned requires inspection of the flesh adjacent to the entire body cavity, and even in the area of the simanim. Poil fasimanim shenidalelu michabo omer bizero had boil vakvar persha Rav bar Chana Amar Shmuel simanim Shnidan de Berubon. Ilfa raises another dilemma with regard to simanim that were detached. How much detachment renders the animal a treifa? Rabbi Zera said this dilemma that Ilfa raises was already explained by Rabba Bar Chana. Rabba Bar Chana says that Shmuel says with regard to simanim that were detached, if they were detached in their majority of the animals, a treifa. Boy Ravami Hamas Misa Mahu Amar Zera Had Boy Ravami Kfar Pirsha Rav Yehuda Amar Rav Yehuda Amarav Bedrosa Shiadim Basar Keneged Bnei Me'ayim Nismas Mes Habasaroi Moisoi Kilu Einoi. Rav Ami raises a dilemma. What is the halakha with regard to an animal that was clawed in an area not surrounding the body cavity, such as the legs, and rot was found in the flesh of that area? Rabbi Zera said that this dilemma that Rav Ami raises was already explained by Rav Yehuda. As Rav Yehuda says that Rav says with regard to a clawed animal, the injury does not render it a treifa, unless the flesh adjacent to the intestine reddens. But if the flesh rotted, one views the rotten area as if it does not exist. If the animal would be a treifa when missing this flesh, it is also a treifa if the flesh rotted. Hechidami nismas meis. Amar Rav Huna v'Rav Yehoshua kol asher roife gaudo umamido al basar chai. Amar Rav Ashi ki avinan bei Rav Kahano aiso kaman ha'ireyo. Dechi habamos vila, Yasva Shapil. Dechi habamos lula, Havitalcha v'nafla, Tilche, v'terefna la, midrav Huna v'rei Rav Yehoshua. The Gemara asks, what is considered rotten flesh? Rav Huna, the son of Yehoshua, said, it is any flesh in such a state that the doctor scrapes it off and it leaves the animal with its raw flesh exposed so that it will heal. Rav Ashi said, when we were in the study hall of Rav Kahana, they brought before us a certain lung that, when they would set it down, would sit well, but when they would pick it up, it would disintegrate and fall into pieces. And we deemed it a treifa based on the statement of Rav Huna, the son of Rav Yehoshua, that one views rotten flesh as if it does not exist. Since the animal would be a treifa if missing the lung, C42a, it is also a treifa if the lung is rotten. Rav Nachman Amar Bakotz Ad Shetin Nakev Lechala Bedrusa Mishiadim Basar Keneged Bnei Me'ayim Rav Zvid Masni Hachi Bedrusa Mishiadim Basar Keneged Bnei Me'ayim Vesimanim Ad Shiadim Musimanim Atzmah. Rav Nachman said, if an animal was pierced by a thorn, it is not a treifa until it is perforated to the cavity of the body. But in the case of a clawed animal, once the flesh adjacent to the intestines reddens, it is a treifa. Rav Zvid would teach the halacha in this manner. In the case of a clawed animal, once the flesh adjacent to the intestines reddens, it is a treifa. But if it was clawed in the simanim, it is not a treifa unless the simanim themselves redden. If only the flesh around them reddens, the animal is kosher, since the venom may not penetrate to the simanim themselves. Amar Rav Papi, boy Rav Bivi Bar Abaye. Rav Papi said, Rav Bivi Bar Abaye raises a dilemma.